Trump versus wind energy. Fact-checking his claims about ugly monsters. What the data actually shows. What if everything you've been told about renewable energy is wrong? That's exactly what one former president wants you to believe. And his latest crusade against wind power is igniting fierce debates across two continents. During his recent Scottish getaway, Donald Trump didn't just play golf at his luxury Turnberry resort. He launched what can only be described as an all-out assault on wind energy, making claims so bold they've left energy experts scrambling to fact-check his statements. But here's where it gets controversial. Some of his points aren't entirely baseless, while others fly directly in the face of hard data. Last Friday, as Trump touched down at Prestwith Airport, he wasted no time declaring war on what he calls Europe's windmill obsession. His message was crystal clear. You see these windmills all over the place, ruining your beautiful fields and valleys and killing your birds. And if they're stuck in the ocean, ruining your oceans. Strong words from someone who's been battling Scottish wind farms since 2013. But this was just the opening salvo. During Sunday's high-profile press conference with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, where they announced a major trade deal, Trump escalated his rhetoric to new heights. Wind energy, he declared, is nothing more than a con job that simply doesn't work. Standing at his own golf resort, he specifically targeted Aberdeen's wind installations, branding them some of the ugliest windmills you've ever seen. The verbal assault continued into Monday during his meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. This time, Trump pulled no punches, calling wind turbines ugly monsters and pressuring Starmer to abandon renewable initiatives in favour of North Sea oil and gas extraction. And this is the part most people miss. Trump's wind energy vendetta isn't just political posturing, it's deeply personal. His crusade traces back to a decade-long legal battle with Scottish authorities over 11 wind turbines visible from his prized Turnberry golf course. After launching his challenge in 2013, Trump fought all the way to the UK Supreme Court, only to see his case definitively dismissed in December 2015. The loss clearly still stings, and his recent comments suggest this personal grudge is far from over. Now, as a well-documented climate change skeptic, Trump has built an entire arsenal of arguments against wind power. But here's the million-dollar question that's dividing experts and politicians alike. Do his claims actually hold water when scrutinized against real-world data? The most expensive energy myth, or is it? Trump's first major claim hits hard. It is the worst form of energy, the most expensive form of energy, but windmills should not be allowed. This statement directly contradicts recent findings from the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, which reveal that wind power has become 53% cheaper than the most affordable fossil fuel alternatives globally. The numbers tell a compelling story. IRENA's comprehensive analysis shows onshore wind has emerged as the most cost-effective option for new power generation worldwide. Since 2010, onshore wind costs have plummeted by an astounding 56%, driven by technological advances, intensified supply chain competition, and massive manufacturing scale-ups. But here's where Trump might have a point, and this is generating heated debate among UK energy policy experts. The British government recently increased its maximum guaranteed price for offshore wind electricity generation from companies building new wind farms. Energy Secretary Ed Miliband has faced sharp criticism for setting the ceiling at £113 per megawatt hour, up from 118 in 2024 for the upcoming August contract auctions. To put this in perspective, current wholesale gas prices sit at £78, £90 per megawatt hour. However, energy markets are notoriously volatile, During 2022's price crisis, costs skyrocketed beyond £170, £196 per megawatt hour. The government maintains these figures represent bidding ceilings, not final costs, pointing to last year's auctions where actual clearing prices came in significantly below maximum thresholds. The 8-year rust and rot controversy, Trump's second claim, ventures into technical territory. Wind turbines start to rust and rot in 8 years, and when they deteriorate, you can't really turn them off, you can't burn them. They won't let you bury the propellers, the props, because there's a certain type of fibre that doesn't go well with the land. This assertion contradicts established industry data in dramatic fashion. IWENA research indicates wind turbines typically operate effectively for 20 to 25 years, not 8. Modern manufacturers are even more optimistic, with some claiming well-maintained installations in favourable locations can function productively for 3 decades or longer. Real-world examples support these longer lifespans. Scottish Power launched a comprehensive repowering initiative in 2023 for Scotland's oldest onshore wind facility, which has generated electricity consistently since 1998. That's already 27 years of operation, far exceeding Trump's 8-year claim. But here's where the controversy gets interesting. Trump isn't completely wrong about waste disposal challenges. EU Joint Research Centre scientists project annual wind turbine waste could reach 10 million tonnes by 2050. However, industry groups like Wind Europe emphasise that 80 to 95% of turbine materials, including steel, concrete and copper, can be effectively recycled. The real challenge lies exactly where Trump pointed: the propeller blades. These components, engineered from lightweight, durable materials like fiberglass or carbon fiber bonded with resin, present genuine recycling difficulties. The composite materials resist easy separation, making traditional recycling both technically challenging and economically expensive. Yet innovation is rapidly addressing these concerns. In 2021, the European wind industry made an unprecedented commitment to reuse, recover or recycle 100% of decommissioned blades, while advocating for landfill bans. Revolutionary recycling technologies now break down blade waste into usable components for products like cement additives, while new blade designs incorporate increasingly recyclable materials. Creative reuse projects are also emerging. Sweden's Vattenfall has repurposed old blades as parking garage components, while Ireland's blade bridge transforms them into pedestrian walkways. These initiatives suggest the waste problem, while real, is far from insurmountable. The China manufacturing reality check, Trump's assertion that wind turbines are made in China, almost all of them, contains more truth than many renewable energy advocates would prefer to acknowledge. China currently dominates global wind turbine manufacturing, controlling approximately 60% of worldwide production capacity, according to Global Wind Energy Council data. However, the picture is more nuanced than Trump suggests. Significant manufacturing hubs operate across Germany, Spain, France, and Denmark, with Europe accounting for roughly 19% of global production. More importantly for European markets, Wind Europe reports that around 90% of wind projects commissioned in Europe during 2024 utilized European manufactured turbines. But here's the concerning trend that validates part of Trump's argument: soaring renewable energy demand, ambitious EU clean energy targets, and significantly lower costs from Chinese manufacturers are pushing European countries to increasingly source turbines from China. This shift raises legitimate questions about energy security, supply chain resilience, and economic independence that deserve serious consideration. The bird and whale mortality debate. Trump's environmental claims that wind turbines drive whales loco and are killing birds venture into emotionally charged territory that environmentalists and renewable energy supporters often struggle to address objectively. Regarding whale impacts, Trump's claims lack scientific support. The US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has found no evidence linking offshore wind installations to whale deaths. While some activists have suggested that wind farm construction activities, including acoustic wave surveying, might affect whale behavior, research indicates no fatal impacts. Current regulations in many countries specifically protect marine life during wind farm development, and documented whale fatalities are far more commonly attributed to ship strikes and fishing gear entanglement. The bird mortality issue presents a more complex reality. Wind turbines do kill birds. This is an undeniable fact that renewable energy advocates sometimes downplay. However, the scale requires perspective. Wind turbine bird fatalities represent only a tiny fraction compared to deaths caused by domestic cats, power lines, building collisions, or climate change itself. Importantly, bird mortality varies dramatically by location, season, and local species. Some wind installations record significant bird deaths, while others report virtually none. Scientists are actively developing solutions, from painting turbine blades in contrasting colors or patterns to improve visibility, to sophisticated AI systems that can shut down turbines when birds approach. Location selection emerges as the critical factor in minimizing bird impacts. Comprehensive environmental impact studies conducted before construction can dramatically reduce bird mortality risks, making site planning not technology abandonment. The most effective conservation strategy. Germany's wind energy failure, the data tells a different story. Trump's final claim that Germany tried it and wind doesn't work perhaps represents his most factually inaccurate statement. The reality paints a completely opposite picture that undermines his entire argument. In the most recent year, wind power generated 28% of Germany's total electricity, making it the country's single largest electricity source. This isn't a failure. It's a renewable energy success story of unprecedented scale. Overall, renewable sources, including wind, solar, biomass, and hydroelectric power, supplied nearly 60% of Germany's energy mix. During the first 9 months of 2024, wind and solar generation exceeded fossil fuel electricity production for the first time in German history. Think tank Ember's analysis reveals that wind alone contributed 31% of Germany's renewable generation increase, demonstrating continued growth rather than the failure Trump describes. These numbers represent more than statistics. They demonstrate that large-scale wind implementation is not only possible, but actively succeeding in one of the world's most industrialized economies. So, what's really happening here? Are we witnessing a legitimate critique of renewable energy policy, or a personal vendetta dressed up as environmental concern? Trump's claims mix legitimate technical challenges with misleading characterizations and outright factual errors. While issues like blade recycling and bird mortality deserve serious attention, his broader assertions about wind energy costs, lifespan, and effectiveness contradict overwhelming scientific evidence. But here's the uncomfortable truth that both sides of this debate often ignore. Dismissing all concerns about renewable energy implementation can be just as problematic as rejecting the technology entirely. Real challenges exist around manufacturing dependence, waste management, and environmental impacts that require honest acknowledgement and innovative solutions. The question facing policymakers and citizens alike isn't whether wind energy is perfect. It clearly isn't. The question is whether these imperfections outweigh the demonstrated benefits, and whether the challenges can be addressed through continued innovation and improved implementation practices. What do you think? Are Trump's concerns about wind energy legitimate policy critiques that deserve serious consideration, or are they politically motivated attacks on proven renewable technology? Should countries prioritize energy independence over environmental goals, or can they successfully achieve both simultaneously? The debate is far from over, and your voice matters in shaping how we power our future.